Hi, everybody. Welcome to Journaling with Intention. This is week 2. I'm really excited that you are here today. And I'm going to start actually with a little review. So just let me know that you are here and how did your week go? So is this something, were you able to journal? What was it that you were able to do? And how did you like it? How did you like the process? Was it something that was really helpful for you? And I have some different ideas that we're going to try today. And I'm really excited that you're here and that I'm here as well. So I'm so excited. Hi, Helen. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Alicia. I hope you are having a wonderful Sunday. And so let me know. Hi, Saskia. Let me know, how did your week go? So was the journaling something that you tried? Were you like kind of waiting to see what was going on? What was it that you ended up doing for this past week? So let me know in the chats. For me, I actually found my little notebook. I was excited to use it. I liked all the colors. I was really kind of happy every time I went and used it. It made me a little happy, and I found it really easy. Last time we made some graphs, and I found those really, really easy to use. So let me know. Did you have you tried this or whatnot? Hi, Melly. How are you doing? Hi, Helen. You did the front cover. I bet, Helen, it looks gorgeous, of course, because your stuff is always great. I kind of wish I had one that I could decorate the front cover, but I guess I could make a some sort of sleeve. That might be a fun one. I also wanted to. I might in a future show make do some tabs and some bookmarks. So that would be great. But let me know. Did you use your journal, and how is it that you used it? So I'm so excited that you're here. We're going to go ahead and try again and set up for this week. And since we have, yes, I know, too much at once. And that's what I was trying to say, Tracy, is that it really is about that habit stacking. So it's like, do one thing, get that done, make that part of your routine, and then move on to the next one. And it feels like really, really slow, but that's how you build that progress. So just a little bit. And then obviously we started a little late in January. So, we only had about a week in January. So actually we're going to be making our February cover page for today. And Alicia, you're that's great. That's okay, Alicia, because it's not, the recording is just there. Recording in your journal is just there to help you to kind of be mindful of what it is that you're doing. And so you wrote it down, and then maybe you just don't need to actually to write every single thing down. And then you can kind of focus on other intentions. And again, that's why we're calling them intentions and not goals, because goals feel like they're finite. But with intentions, you actually get this opportunity to, think about it as a process, that this is something that you want, and you want to put that process in. And if you wouldn't mind just taking a moment and sharing this while we're live, and that would be really appreciative, just so we can help other people if they want to join in and get started on the journaling. And yeah, Tracy, that was, I think for me, I do this every single year. And I think that's why I'm like, by the end of January, I'm like, I am done with New Year's resolutions, done. And it has to do with the fact that I like over plan. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this, but I'm over planning. And so if you just focus on one or two things, and then get those one or two things, get those to be part of your habit, then that's going to help as well. And if you're just joining us, we are in week 2 of Journaling with Intention. And today, we're just right now, what we're doing is just reviewing to see how your week went. And if you're just starting, so Saskia, you said you start today, and it might be, we're going to actually talk a little bit about different journals and different ways, because really all this is just a way, it's like a meditative practice where you're just thinking about you and thinking about yourself and thinking about your life and things that you want to do. Thank you so much, Helen. Thank you so much, Tracy, for sharing this to Facebook. And let anybody know in your circle if they would like to join. They are more than happy to. All right, or I'm really happy if they would. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And one thing I wanted to show you is, and this is really for you, Saskia, is I wanted to show a different type of journaling that I do, which is my ideas journal. It's not something that I do like every day, but sometimes I have, I like to be very creative, especially with my job. My job is very sciencey, very specific job. And I like to be creative and I have a lot of ideas. And sometimes those ideas get stuck in there and I can't have more ideas come in. And so I actually use a journal to put all of my ideas down. And it's kind of a mess, but Saskia, I thought I'd show it to you. So I'll start there. And I'm actually going to start by reviewing my journal with you. And I made some mistakes. So I'm going to show you how I fixed those mistakes, but I made some mistakes last week. And as I was going through, I'm like, this is not working. So I added some things and took away some things to get that journal. And that's what I like doing is every week I kind of use this time, not just to build the next week, but to say, you know what? What's working and what's not working and what needs to be, what's going to work. And that's all the time. Hey, Kathy, so glad that you're here. And thank you for sharing this to Facebook. And if you would like to share this live while we're live, that would be super great, just to kind of build our community and get some more people in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shoot my camera down. And I'll show you kind of the things that I'm using today and I've added some new things. And I am shopping my stash, and I am really seriously shopping my stash today. I am even going to try to incorporate, and I bet we all have those little odds and ends of projects, flowers, things like that. You just kind of like, you think are so pretty, but you just don't know how to use them. I'm going to talk to you about some organization for those and how we can incorporate those in as well. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot my camera down. And we're going to talk about some different journals, and we're get going with today. So get your journals out, journal with me, build your journals, and hopefully this inspires you for this week. And like I said, it is really just all about little tiny changes that are going to end up, it's what do they call it? The drops in the bucket laid up to a gallon. It's really, really slow, really monotonous, but those little tiny drops, they'll lead up to fill your bucket. All right, let me go ahead and change this over. All right, so here I am on my work surface. Let me just get it straight, because all of you are like, it's too crooked. Okay, so here is my journal. So we talked before about journals, and I have a link for a journal. I got this at Michael's, but if you're interested in a journal, what I would strongly suggest is getting one that has a really nice, and we have a friend with us today. That's exciting, Kathy. You didn't even know that there'd be cats here. So this is my journal, and I'm just going to realize I don't have my tiny ruler. And this, I like dotted journals, and this is what they look like as cats jump over them. Just little tiny dots. And I like that because it provides a little bit of a grid there. Yeah, Helen, this is Cosmo. He's the one that causes the most havoc in our household, as you can tell. And he's leaving now because it's dinner time. All right. So yes, last time, or actually before I dig into this, let me show you my ideas journal. So it's just a small book. You can see it's a little bit smaller. It also is dotted because I like that dottedness. And this one is from Erin Condren. She sells these blank ones. And for those of you who were in my Alta New Live, there's my ideas for the Galentine's card that we did. And that's all I do is to just kind of like write them down. And I'll even have sketches. We'll sketch it out. So Saskia, you getting some ideas here? And so you can see how I start to section off things. And I like that because I'm kind of a linear person. So I like to section things off. So here's, if you were with me on that New Year's Eve class, this is one way that I did that. So I had each of those things and I write down the supplies and stuff. So that's another idea for journaling. So Saskia, I hope that helps you for that. And there's always journaling is, it's really just a meditative practice to get those ideas out of your head and put them down on paper, allow you to give space for new ideas. And that's kind of what I see this for. All right. So if you're just joining us, we are in week 2 of journaling with intention. So I'm just reviewing what we did last week. So last week we talked about our intentions and why we're not calling them goals, but calling them intentions, because it's not that there's an end point, but it's that these are little changes that you just want to recognize as you go through. So we made this wheel, and you might notice if you're with me last week, this looks a lot different. I actually cut this out I actually die cut it because I didn't like the way it was set up. And so what I did is I made 3 big kind of focus for this year. One is on my home, one is on my personal health, and the other one is for my family. And then what I did is I wrote down, what does that mean to me? And I identified what those were. And so I put all of those down. And that just kind of helped me. So I wanted to thank Alicia, because I love how you did that with the snowflakes. And I kind of took that idea and put it into this here. So I added that in. All right. And then we talked about we set up our January, and we talked about our monthly intentions. So I just put those in, stamped this in, and then wrote them in. And this, and Helen, do you remember how terrible that stamped? And you were like, this one's really hard anyway. So I stamped it on and then die cut it and then put it in here. So it just has a little bit of a shadow. So I thought that looked a little bit nicer. So yes, I agree, Alicia, that too. Yeah. And so I wanted to say that when you make mistakes, you can always go back and fix them. That's what, tape and a die cut does, man. All right. And then this was our double page spread where we're keeping everything for the week. And what I did is I used mine for keeping track of what I ate for dinner. And that's because we're trying something new in my household where we are planning our meals on the weekend. And it just gives me some space to just remind myself what the heck we had and when, and if we liked it or not, or if I never ever want to go back to it. I eat the same stuff in the morning and for lunch because we do meal prepping. So I do that already. And so this was just kind of keeping track about what I ate for dinner because those are the things. And yeah, I love the color, right, Tracy? Because I feel like when I open this up every day, it's going to be colorful. So I went in and I used I didn't use markers on this because my paper's good. Like it's pretty good quality paper, but it's still going to, that color's going to go through. So I really think that the colored pencils are the best way to go. So that's what I used. And then I showed you guys those flare pens. So I have them in a little mug and I just, grabbed this mug that I had and put all my pens in there. And then this is on my table. And when I come in at nighttime, this is the last thing I do is I just check off what I did and write everything down. Now I added in this little section of what to work on next week. And I just used some of my pens just to highlight out. And then I added in some stamping and I colored these in. And then of course I had to add a little sentiment in here. So this is take the risk or lose the chance. And I thought that was like a good focus for the week. And then over here, I used that washi tape that's off of my P-Touch, my brother P-Touch labeling maker. So this one will actually use with washi. And you can switch those cartridges out. And I wanted a place where I had, the things that I wanted to track, So here's my water intake. So every day I just put a dot in. And then I realized I needed to do stretching. So I added a walking and a stretching. And so down here, I checked it off if I stretch. So you can see it's color coded. And here is my walking, which I did not do fabulous on. These were being creative is one of the things I wanted to look at. So I was laying this out. So this is great. So that means that out of my 7 days, 1, 2, 3, I didn't do anything creative. But I did for 4 days. Honestly, if you asked me and I wasn't tracking this, I would have said I did nothing this week. And then here, I'm just kind of tracking my mood. I'm at a certain age where mood and headaches and other kind of symptoms are important to know. So when I go see my doctor, I can tell her. And so I'm just kind of keeping track of that. And it just helps me with some of the things that I got to do. And of course, some beautiful washi tape decorates it all. So what I want you to do is think about, all right, so what worked for me? What didn't work for me? What are the things I'm going to change? And I have to say, when you have a graph like this, I really recommend, I like graphs. It also is, I'm a science person, but I like graphs because they are such a quick visual. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in on this graph here just so you can see it as I come down. And I love the color. And I think I'm going to keep that rainbow because that made me really happy all week. But when you look at this graph, you kind of start to look this way and look at it as 2 lines. So I think it is important here that we actually connect these dots. So I'm going to take my little tiny ruler that I stole from school. Don't tell anybody. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect these dots. And again, it's a nice visual as I'm reviewing my week and thinking about my next week and setting those intentions for the next week. So this is actually Friday, even though it went over to Saturday. You can see that I am very, very up and down. And I think Sunday's even less. I know it's not over yet, but I think I'm probably here. I had some tea today, but that was about it. Okay. So you can see that I'm very, very up and down. And so by adding those lines in, we can see. And then for the walking, and I didn't walk today, so that's a 0 on that one. I'm actually going to change this out because I realized that I'm not taking into account all the walking that I do at work. This is all like extra walking. And so I'm going to actually change this over to steps. Okay, there we go. So you can see that that's, I got a little something to work on there. All right, so I had a massage today, so I'm going to put that in. So that made me feel a little bit better. And I just use a little, yay! I'm talking to you, great people. That's really exciting. And I felt pretty good yesterday too. So I just add a little kind of happy thing in. And I had the party. I felt pretty good on Friday. So I just add in a little smiley face or whatever to kind of put that in. I'd love to know, is there anything that you're going to change? What did you learn from last time? Is there anything that you want to change for this as we get ready for our next one? Let me know. Is there anything you're going to change on your, are you going to track habits? What it is that you want to do? All right. Unicorns. Yes. I love it. Thank you. Stamp the fun up. Rainbows are the best. Rainbows are the best. I have the stencil, the rainbow stencil from Altenew, but I'm not putting it in today. I think I'm going to hold that off for a little bit. Hi, Helen. Hi, Evie. All right. So what I want to do now is I'm going to set this up. So we're going to kind of recreate these 2 pages. So we're setting up our monthly intentions and then setting up our cover page. But these I felt were pretty, I'm not excited about this. It's nice as a die cut and everything, but I want to make this a little bit more colorful. And so I'm going to use stencils versus stamping. And I'm going to actually use the Altenew Frozen Delights ink set. And I like this for 2 reasons. Number one, Altenew sells these little ink sets. And I'm just going to grab a couple of them. This is the Frozen Delight, and these are very light. And I want to use very, very light inks because I'm going to be writing on top of this, so I don't want it to be too distracting. But sometimes it's just nicer. This is called the Soft Pastel set, and I have all of these ink colors in separate sets, but on the go, it's just nice to grab something like this because it has my rainbow. My rainbow's already in there, so I don't have to sit there and pull out each one. And then I like this set too. This is perfect for flowers. This is called Spring Bouquet, and it's just great because it's got all the pink. Oh, did you just get the Frozen Delights, Evie? Did you also get the jewel tones with those? Because you got to get both. So, absolutely. All right. So this one is dark. These are dark, dark, dark. So I'm not going to use these except maybe to stamp other things, but I am going to use the Frozen Delight set. And my rainbow's already there. So you've kind of looked at my book. So very, very rainbowy. And so all my rainbow is already there. So that's what I'm going to use. So I looked through all my stencils and I wanted some sort of lacy kind of stencil. And I realized I don't have it. So I made it. And Evie, you'll be proud of me because I know you did this yesterday, but I grabbed it's called the Altenew Mandala die. And this is the die. And if you use this, and I put a link into the paper I have, which is, it's called Hamilco. It's 120 pound, nice bright white cardstock. It has such a beautiful feel to it. And this is the die cut out. But what a great stencil. And then I can actually take this and I'm going to store this here. So I can actually store this on my magnet sheet and then my stencil is with me all the time. So, oh yeah, it's so that they're so pretty, the Frozen Delights. They're light, 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 but they are really, really pretty. All right, so I'm going to grab my stencil, and I'm also going to grab the mini blending brushes, and I have these right over here on the side. So these are my mini blending brushes, and I have them in, well, I tried to get them in colors, but I always forget, and I always use them the wrong way. What I want to do with these is I want to create, yes, again, another rainbow, and I'm going to go out and back in. And I realize this doesn't come with a purple. It has the strawberry, but I'm going to grab a purple, and I'm going to grab that from Shades of Purple set. So I'm just going to grab this soft lilac. So I'm going to add that in, this soft lilac. All right, so I'm going to grab just a little bit of tape, and I don't want this whole circle. I kind of just want half of it, or I want it to look like it's kind of coming out of the page a little bit. So I'm just going to tape this down onto my paper. And this is the satin masking tape. This is great because this won't hurt anything. All right, so I'm going to start with that purple on the outside. This is a great dye, Helen. And if you don't have this, I would just encourage you to look at your dyes. And you may have a stencil that might work, but look at your dyes and see if you can cut it out of heavy enough weight paper. And that way it will work as a stencil. All right, so this is the soft lilac. I'm just going to put this right here. And I'm just going to go right off my paper. And I'm going to go purple. So I'm starting off with purple on the outside. And again, I want this to be nice and soft because I'm going to be writing on top of it. And I want that writing to show up. But this is a really, really great way to stretch your supplies, is just think about them in a little bit of a different way. I'm kind of hitting this outside here. I don't know what these are, these little heart flower things. But I'm actually going into the next part because I want to make sure that when I put the blueberry down, which is the blue color, that they start to blend a little bit. You also can start from the inside and go out, but I kind of like to start from the outside. I feel like I can get a measurement there. So just to kind of show you, it's very, very light. That's a little hard to see. This is for a background only. This is only for a background. So I'm just making this. So what this is going to end up being the same page, Tracy, as this is. So this is our monthly intentions page. All right. So this is our monthly intentions page. And we are, so I'm just doing this right on the outside. All right. So I'm going to go in with blueberry next. So I'm going to grab a light blue. And so this is blueberry. I just used soft lilac. So I'm going to put that up there. And now I'm going to grab that blue, and now I'm going to come in and just continue over. And that's why I want this to be as soft as possible. And if you don't have these jewel tones, that's fine. Just grab your lightest inks and don't go with a heavy hand. Try to keep this very, very light. And this is just the back. This isn't going to be anything crazy. This is just the background. So we're just going to do this as the background. And what you get out of it is you really get this pretty die cut that has all of these colors on it. So it's kind of a bonus. All right. So from there, then I'm going to go to this mint chai. And the mint chai is kind of like a blue-green. So you can see I'm just starting to work my way in with this. To check the color with the cover. Oh, I'm scared. I know. I did. Well, unfortunately, these are not, they don't, as far, or at least when I got the labels, Altenew has these beautiful, like amazing labels that help you to match up the base with the top. And you are right. Like if you don't have that base, it fortunately for this, like I know that that's green and not, you know, it's not like a difference of colors. So I kind of know that this one is green. Okay. All right. So that's mint chai. And now I'm going to actually just use the same one. I'm going to come in with pistachio, I am going to use my cloth just to get this off. Oh, hi, Linda. I'm so glad you're here. You just tried to call me. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, this is what I am doing. Grab a journal. We are journaling with intention today, and we're using our supplies. And Linda, if you wanted to come over next week, we can do this together. Grab a journal. I have some extra ones, so feel free. I'm so glad you're here. All right. So we're just making this little background. All right, so that's my mint chai, and I'm trying not to go too because I still got 3 more colors. All right, so now I'm going to hit the lemon ice, and again, nice and soft, nice and soft. This is something we can do on Saturday if you want to. All right, and again, I'm just making this background, but it's so nice that you can have that idea of stretching your supplies, and this was a die, and you turned it into a stencil. So it's really, really great way to use it. All right, so this is the orange sherbet. So I'm going to go just a little bit with that orange. And these colors are so light. I know this is going to look pretty, but I'm at that point in the stencil where you're like, is this really going to be showing through? Is this going to make sense? All right, and I'm just taking off some extra because this looks pretty dark, but I'm just taking off some extra here. All right, so here is my strawberry. So this is my pink, and I'm just going to go right around the center for that pink. And again, I like that. That's something that I'm keeping that I did last week is I had that rainbow, and that really made me happy. So I'm going to keep that on. All right, so as I peel this off, you can see this beautiful, nice, soft stencil. And that's exactly the look that I was going for, is something up there. Oh, that's a great idea, Evie. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Evie, that you that this is helping you. But see how pretty and soft that is? And I just want to point out that was from, I have a little bleed through. I know about that, but that's not a big deal. But just how nice and soft that is. I love it when you have an idea in your mind and then you can actually see it and it comes to fruition. I'm like, yay. This would be pretty to do it over on this side, but I'm actually going to do something else on this side. And since, so this is my monthly intentions page. So just as an idea, this is what is going to be on this side. And this is my February cover page. And so February, we got to talk about, hearts and Valentine's Day and all kinds of stuff. And so I wanted to use a stencil. And this stencil is called Color Block Heart Stencil. And I think I want to use strawberry. I'm going to use strawberry and orange cream on this. This is a cool stencil. Again, I'm going to use the orange sherbet. I'm going to use these colors from the Frozen Delight set. And the way this works is what you do is you put it down one direction and then you flip it and then it makes these little tiny hearts. And so it really is so pretty. So I'm just going to make sure that I have it lined up correctly. And I think it's this way. Yep, that's right. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing just so it can mirror this side. So I'm going to grab a little bit, grab that tape again and just go ahead and put this tape. And I know this is only 6 by 6 and I could fill it in and stuff, but I kind of like the idea of it kind of being off of the page a little bit. All right, so I'm going to start off with the strawberry going in one direction. And I'm just going to come in and just add this color in. And then we will flip this and then we will have little hearts on this. Yes, thank you so much for pointing that out, Alicia. If you missed last week, you can actually, and this is the reason why I'm doing this on YouTube, is you can go back and take a look at each of them. And what's great is you can actually fast forward through all my banter. So if you are pressed for time, go ahead and hit that fast forward button. And that way you can see where we started, what we talked about, and why we're not calling these goals. We're calling them intentions. And that's because goals are finite. Linda, who is out there, my best friend, she also read Atomic Habits, and that's what we're kind of working on, is thinking about habit stacking and thinking about making these changes. So if you felt like I had a really hard time last week and I couldn't keep everything straight and it was just too much, then just focus on one. Because if you have the one, then the next one, then you just work on the next one and you just keep going until finally you fill your bucket. Again, it's that idea of drop, drop, drop in a bucket, and it will eventually, that bucket will be filled. Takes a while, but then you know that it becomes a habit and it's not something that you're hoping for anymore, but something that actually becomes part of your routine and part of what you do and how you see the world. And that's how this works. All right, so there's our strawberry. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it. And how this works, and you kind of have to, I mess around with it a little bit so you can see how very, very little bit. Oh, that's fast forward through that. Well, Kathy, you never know. So what you do here is you kind of line all of these up on the diagonal. So you can see I had it this way and I just flipped it over. And now I'm going to line these up. And that's kind of the tricky part, is finding exactly how they all match up. There we go. And I'm not doing this side over here. All right, so now I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to grab my orange. And I wanted to do orange because I wanted it to be similar in color. I could pick something that's like very, very different, like they picked blue and pink here. But I'm going to do a different one. Thank you so much, Alicia, for watching it again. I went through it again, too, just to make sure if I had anything else to look at. All right. So, and again, nice and light because we're going to be stamping on this and we're going to be writing on it with our pens. But I just wanted to add a little bit of fun color because I realized that's what I was missing last week, was a little bit of fun color, especially on these pages. I also have, if you have like an extra heart hanging around, that could be something. So like I said, we're going to look at storage of those little extra odds and ends and those little extra pieces. And I'm just making sure I think I went too far on that side. Do you really, Kathy? Hi, hobbyist. How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. And if you're just joining us, we are working through monthly intentions. And so this is a weekly series that I have where we will be working together to help each other to set those New Year's resolutions and actually stick to them. All right, there we go. So now you can see those hearts. How cute is that, huh? So cute. And Kathy, you've been procrastinating on reading the Habit book. That's kind of funny, I gotta say. It is a good book, though. He even has a workbook that he works through it. And I think I read it like 2 years ago is when I read that. But really, really great book. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I always have to do that because I think that's happened to me before where I've ordered things and then so you need to see how nice and soft that is. So that's our page. So we're going to set monthly intentions on this page, and this is going to be our February page. So let me pull these Frozen Delights. I'm actually going to grab the jet black ink because I'm going to do a little bit of inking in black. And thank you so much for joining us. If you're just joining us, this is monthly intentions, and this is where we're kind of repurposing our crafting supplies and using them to make some pretty journals. And what we're doing today is we are actually setting up our February days. All right, so last time I used these geoframe stamps. So awesome. because it really makes these great frames. So I'm going to use this again, and I'm going to use this really, really long rectangle. And I'm actually going to use some washi just to separate this out from my title. And I looked through my washi stash, and I have, for some reason, have this really adorable washi from Valentine's Day that I don't think I've ever used. So I'm going to grab that out. All right, so I'm just grabbing a stamp block that's going to fit my geo frames. And I'm just going to stamp this in jet black. Oh, that's so great. Oh, and hobbyists, yes, thank you for watching the first one. Hopefully you got a chance to set up your notebook. Love to know how it worked for you and how you went, how your week went. We went through how the week was, and then talking about things that you need to change and things that you wanted to keep. And for me, I talked a little bit about how I was changing up tracking and how I was, how I really liked having the rainbow. I really liked all the rainbow that I had. All right, so that is this. And I just realized, like, I've really got to make this as flat as possible in order to stamp on this. All right, I know some of you are screaming because I'm stamping over my stenciled image, but there you go. Oh, that's a great idea, Kathy. I didn't know you could pause it. That's good. And that is a good book, that Atomic Habits. All right, there we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Woo, beautiful. All right. Now, again, if you can use those black pens in order to help you if that is something that you wanted to do. All right. I love how that came out. I'm going to grab just a little bit of washi tape, and I think I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to do dots. So this is actually an Altenew one. This is dots. Let me see how that looks. Oh, I like that. I feel like if I use like a really bright color, it's going to be too much against that light. So I'm just going to grab this black and white. And this just gives me a little delineation between the top and the bottom. I'll go right through the middle here. There we go. And I'm actually going to cut this with scissors instead of trying to tear it, because I will mess that up. Okay, there we go. And that, again, just gives me a little delineation, just a little bit of something else. I'm going to use the hearts again from the mandala set. So this is a nice set for this. I like this set anyway, but these little hearts I used last time as a way to delineate out my intentions for the week. So I'm just going to grab one of the hearts and pop it on a stamp block. And last week or last month, I had 3 intentions, and they were to walk 15 minutes a day. Did not do that. Color or craft each day, and drink 64 ounces of water each day, plus my 20 ounces of tea, for a total of 84 ounces. So I want to change this over to steps. I do want to craft each day, and I do want to keep my water. So I'm going to do those 3. All right, I'm going to just grab a little baby pink. Oh, that's a great idea, hobby. But see, like, hobbyist, that's so good, because it's those little small things that you're doing, those little small changes, and all that stuff is going to help. All right, I'm just grabbing some baby pink ink, and that's my first heart. And then I'm going to grab my pens, and I love this fine liner set from Altenew because it has 4 different lines, like 4 different thicknesses, and I like this 2.0. It also has a brush tip, which I used last time to do those monthly intentions. So that's really nice, is that brush tip. All right, so for this one, I'm going to talk about walking. So walk, I'm going to put 8,000 steps because I don't think 10 is going to cut it. All right, so that's my walking. And the next one, so here's my second heart. And while I'm here, I'm actually going to stamp my third heart. All right, so I have 3 intentions for this month. All right. I don't know, Kathy, about multitasking. I'm trying, man. All right, so walk 8,000 steps each day. Now I'm looking back. Oh, yeah, that's right. Color or craft each day. And the last one is drink 64 ounces of water each day, plus my 20 ounces of green tea. Okay, there we go. So those are my intentions. And would you walk 5,000? Yes, that's right. And that's the key is don't pick too many. We got to focus on one thing, focus on two things. I'm doing 3 because they're 3 very different things, but I know within my day that this will work for me. All right, my tape is a little crooked, so I'm going to go ahead and try this. This is the great thing about washi tape is you can pick it back up and put it back down. All right, I'm just going to straighten this out just a little bit. Using that stamping as, there we go. It's a little bit better. All right, so that is there. And then what I wanted to use is I'm actually going to grab here he is, my Mega Brush Alpha. This is a great set from Altenew, and it's really nice for titles. It is a little bit big, but I'm going to add this in. So I'm going to use the M and the I here, and then I'm just going to write the rest of it because just to get it started a little bit. So I didn't like how I wrote it last time, so I'm going to do this instead here. Oh, I had it somewhere. I haven't used this M, so I'm using that stamp conditioning eraser, and I'm just going to get the I on deck. All right, so I is on deck over here. And I'm going to stamp this in black with the jet black ink. And I'm using the crisp dye ink. I'm not using the obsidian or permanent black because those are going to take a little bit longer to dry. And I want to move on with this, and I don't want it to get all kind of ichors as I'm moving through. All right, so here's my monthly. So there's my M. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful M. All right, I'm going to clean this off, and I have my eye up on deck. Oh, hi, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining, Sarah. I really appreciate it. And I hope, love to know how you're doing with your journal. All right, so I is right in there. Okay. Now I can come in. I have I'm trying to get this done in an hour, and I still want to do these other pages. So I'm actually going to write these in. But I showed you guys last time that stamp set, this one called Perfectly Penned. Oh, so beautiful. And I love it because it has the sans serif. No, this is serif. No, sans serif font. And it also has lowercase and it also has uppercase. Really, really useful stamp set. So really, really great one. Concord and Ninth is still making this. So grab this one if you can. I use this a lot. As you can tell, it's very stained, but it's really, really great. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put monthly intentions, and I'm going to stamp that with my Perfectly Penned. But I wanted to move over to here to my February. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Is now I'm going to grab, so I already used the M and the I, and now I'm going to grab the F because it is February, if I can find the F. All right, I know you're all screaming at me. There it is. All right, so here's February. So I'm going to put this on my stamp block, and I liked how I did it last time where it was like diagonal this way. So I'm going to do that as well. Okay, using the jet black ink again because we're going to add color. Because I have so much color with the stencil, I'm going to add color with my washi tape. I'm going to have a die cut here. I want to as well have, I want this black so it can kind of tone down all of that color. All right, so February is kind of a long month. I'm going to do this on a diagonal. So there is my F for February. All right, there's my F. All right, and I'll show you guys again. You don't have an eye. That's a good one, Kathy. Oh boy. All right, so I'm going to grab now that perfectly penned, and I'll show you how we can use it to connect. So I'm going to grab this for February. All right, so Kathy, are you going to help me spell this so I don't mess this up? Okay, what do I need? I need an E. I need a B. B's right here. R, but this is a connected R. So this has two R's. It's got this R by itself or the end, and then it's got this little R. Where's the R? Oh, here it is. The R that goes in the middle of a word. So just be mindful of which one you grab. All right, R, U. I have to look at these one way. U. I know you're all yelling at me where it is. I'm going to find it. Oh, here it is. It's like I can't read cursive anymore. U-A-R-Y, right? A. Oh, my A is on here. That's a 2. That's going to be an A then. That's an A. A, R, and then Y. Okay. All right, and then I'll grab these out right now. So 2, 3, and 0. All right, so I got 2023 right there. All right, I'm going to grab a smaller stamp block. Here it is. And I'm going to go ahead and put these around. So I got my smaller stamp block. So E. So I got to find the E. Oh, here it is. Whoa, boy, I just lost it. Yeah, I was going to say May. I cannot wait for May because that's going to make this a lot easier. A lot easier. All right, so let's see. That's an E. So let's take that one out. B. These ones you kind of have to look up and over it, but they will connect. If it doesn't work or you're off in some way, you can always use a pen to get it. But you see how nice it looks? It really looks like you're kind of doing it. So I cannot wait for May because this will make my life easier. Okay, R. So this R is the linker R, the one that is in between. Here it is. And that's what I do is I just kind of take them just to kind of save myself a little bit of time. And that's the R. And I want to know how many of you have learned, I need that R back. How many of you have learned how to write cursive? They don't teach it in Florida. It's gone from curriculum, Tracy, because of time on learning. They were like, we don't need the kids to write cursive. We just need them to learn how to write. It's like, but cursive, it's like the lost art, you know? I love writing in cursive. Then the kids can't read anything. You did, Saskia? And yeah, Sarah, I'm of a certain age as well that we learned how to write cursive. All right, I'm using that R again. And I'm going to do the same thing when I do monthly intentions over on the other side. And here's my Y. All right, and isn't that cute? I mean, it looks like you wrote it, but I stamped it all. And it's neat because if you want to do anything in if you wanted to heat emboss it, then you have the letters and it's really, really nice. All right, so let's do the 2. Oh, and if you're concerned, I'm not super concerned about these lining up or not lining up or looking wonky because it's just my book. But if you are, we could draw lines in and make sure that they line up. But I am just kind of putting them down. I kind of like them wonky for some reason. Maybe it shows that I am. There we go. All right, so there's my February 2023. I know it's especially with all that new AI stuff that just came out too. They're really going to teach all of it. It's kind of crazy. All right, so I'm going to grab some washi tape, and I really love this. It's from my stash, but I thought it was really pretty. It's just a bunch of hearts, but it's like paisley hearts, and this makes me happy. So I'm going to actually add it in right here. Same way that I did on my other page, just gives it a little bit of light, you know, just a little bit of whimsy and a little bit of fun. And I think that's straightish. All right, I'm going to use my scissors again just to cut it off the bottom so I have some nice edges. There we go. All right. And again, just giving it a little bit of color. Didn't realize that had frayed. Okay. So that's down. And then I wanted to, over on the other side, please stay on this side, yeah. I wanted to share with you guys how I am storing die cuts. I was using, I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see my thing. I was using these containers that I found at the Container Store, and they are really cute. And what I did is I labeled them. You know, I just kind of used some vinyl and I labeled them, and I have them in here like little baggies that I was kind of using and just kind of stuffing certain items, flowers and things like that. So yeah, Sarah, isn't that pretty? It's just nice to have that little kind of soft background in there. Oh, look, I have tags. Look at that, Tracy. I got some tags hiding in here. Tons of just odds and ends. And I had a second one that I was putting some backgrounds in. So this one I just did, again, some vinyl. And this is all backgrounds and odds and ends of things. But the hard part is I couldn't find anything and I didn't know what the heck I was. So I switched over to this. And what it is, this is actually a photo storage thing. And these are all 4x6 boxes. And what I did is I labeled them on the side. So here's flowers, and these are just all kinds of like odds and ends flowers that I made or I was messing around. And I'm in the process of grabbing all of my stuff that's in random places and putting them in here. So here is, or one of these is hearts. Oh, here's my little heart collection. So I have some hearts that I can add in here. And Tracy, you need a hall pass? So there's hearts that are in here, but I wanted to cut out using this die. And I want to know who has this die. This is called the Illusion Heart die. It is so cool. And let me grab just a little sheet of some scratch paper that I have. Actually, I wanted to cut it out of this brush gold. Oh, no, I'm going to use this. Does that fit? Oh, it does. All right. So I have this just little bit of thing left over here. And I can actually run this right through my mini blossom. So I'm just going to cut this section off. Oh, here we go. Ripping paper. Oh, it's screaming. But I'm going to take this Illusion Hearts die and I'm just going to run it right through my mini blossom. I was going to use what was it? My rose gold paper, but I just kind of saw this in my paper bucket. It's a bucket that I was like, I have to take and put down. All right, so let me just grab a little bit of tape over here just to get this to behave. And I'm just going to cut this right out of here. So this is a great way to use up those scraps, to store those scraps. Like when you have a nice background and you don't know what to do with it, grab some smaller dies, cut it up, and then just put them in. And then we can take those and add those to your journal. So, oh, that one's getting a little hard to move through there. There we go. And I use the shim because this cardstock is pretty tough. Okay, let's see. Hopefully that made it. Oh, it did. All right, so I just want to show this Illusion Hearts die. It's really neat. Okay, move this. Okay, this one goes. I always thought I could use those as little candy canes. All right, and then that's out. And that's the die. Isn't that pretty? So super nice. All right, so let's move that, and then I'm going to add that to my February cover page. So pretty, right? This is a great one. I don't know if anybody has these, but you can glue this on. I'm actually going to grab, this is the little Create a sticker. And I think I'm loaded in there. Yep. You can just roll it through. And it puts adhesive on the back. And I have an affiliate link if you don't have one. That's the 2.5 inch. They also make a 1.5 inch. But I like that 2.5 inch because it works really well. And that way you can just have it. It's got enough sticky on it. And I'm just going to go ahead and add this right on to my journal cover. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. Physically log my Fitbit steps. And that's what I was saying, Sarah. You missed the before. So I actually was tracking it so that way I can see it in a graph, and I'm putting it in there. And then that's a way that you have that 1.5, the 1,500 steps. You can put that up here. That's what I'm going to do, is do steps today. So, but isn't that cute? So cute. All right. So I know we're right at the hour, but I think you guys are okay to hang out with me for a little bit. And we're just going to set up. It's probably take about 15 minutes, and we're just going to set up our next grouping of things. Okay. So like I said, what we've done today is reviewed our journal. I like this layout a lot, so I'm going to keep this. I will, at the end of this, add in monthly intentions just to kind of keep this moniker. I just didn't like how I wrote it, so I'm going to do it here this way. And we've made our cover page for February, and so now we're going to write in what we're doing next. So what I'm going to use for that, and what I used last time, is I actually used this Color Swatches stencil. And I used my fine liner pen set. So I'm just going to start by writing in and let me zoom on in so you can see what I'm doing. Zooming in. All right, so I'm actually going to start by writing the week. So the week that we have coming up starts tomorrow. So again, we're doing Monday to Sunday, but it starts tomorrow. And tomorrow, I rewrote this down, is, oops, that's my brush pen. Don't want that one. Okay, so I'm using the O2. And this is January 30th to February 5th. Now I'm just going to grab some very thin washi. And I just want like a red, a little bit of a red color. Ooh, this one's pretty. And again, shop your stash. Use what you have. You bought it. You liked it at one point in time. So grab that and use it. And, it's kind of like finding things. You might not have used it at first, but you can use it now. All right. So that is there. And if you ever have one of these edges, especially with these thin ones, just add a little glue in and that will go down. So, all right. So just to remind you what it looks like before. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to use this monthly stencil. So this part down here, if we flip this around, you can see that we have a place to write our date and then just a little section. And if you want to make that longer, you can go ahead and put this in and then you can add one of these other blocks. This block, this is a really big full one. You might want to do this, which is like 1.5 blocks. And then this is like, or this is like 3 of these little lines. And then this one is 2 lines. So, but I'm going to keep what I had before worked really well. So I'm going to keep that. And I'm going to go 3 across and then 1. So that's my 7 days. All right. So this is the stencil I'm using. And I'm just going to, again, just use my pen to line this up and use it. All right. And I hope you guys are doing, I hope you're doing, I'm curious to see or to know who is actually working with me to set up their journal or who's watching and thinking about doing this later on. What has inspired you? Is there something that you are taking away, or what's the thing that you're taking away? What's the thing that you want to change for this upcoming week? What is it that you would like to change for this upcoming week? So let me know in the chat. What is it that you would like to change for this upcoming week? For me, it's kind of switching out. Oh, there's a visit from Cosmo again. I know, right, Kathy? You've maxed out the excessive amount of stuff that you have one. Pull out a tiny die cut machine. Reminds you that you have one you forgot about. Yeah, I know. I've been starting, well, I started scrapbooking in 2000 for all of my travels. That's when I actually started collecting paper crafting, but I did not start doing cards until I think 2017 is when I did cards. But I like making stuff and I like making useful things. I think that's my New England upbringing, just making sure that things are useful, which I know is hard to determine sometimes. Okay, and then I'm just going to do my 7th one right here. So this gives me a little bit of space for me to decorate and for me to add in that larger box. So I'm going to just start here. So I have to say one thing I didn't like last week that I'm going to start today is I want the days of the week. So I'm going to add in those here. So this is Monday and this is January 30th. And then this is Tuesday because I had to keep counting them. Okay, and then Wednesday. February 1st. Thursday, February 2nd. Friday, February 3rd. Saturday, February 4th. And then Sunday, February 5th. Okay. And just as a reminder, I won't do it here, but what I did is I actually colored in each of the days. And that's nice because it kind of helped me color code all of these things. And I really appreciated that. All right, so I'm going to grab that GeoFrames stamp again. And I can just do this in, but I'm just going to see what this looks like if I do this. You know, I don't like that. No, I'm just going to draw it in. All right, so I'm just going to take my little ruler and I'm just going to draw in a little box because this is where I want to write down the things that I want to remember for next week. So this is my place where I can review and reflect on the week and things that I, said, hey, and don't forget to take a moment to give yourself kudos. You're trying it. You're doing it. So take that time to give yourself the kudos. Okay. And I like adding in like things that you're going to do. You'll get it right. You'll get it right, Evie, for March. Yes. But that's it. It's process, So what did I call this? What to work on next week? And we can also retitle this of week in review. I think I'll probably change that. Week in review. Okay. And then I grabbed, because I like to have like something to color in. I shopped my stash and I pulled out Persian motifs. I love this little stamp set. Aren't those cute? They're just adorable. And so I'm going to stamp just a couple of these in the corner and add in some of the little sentiments here. So really, really adorable stamp set. Oh, I like this one. Just going to add in a couple of these. This one's nice and big, so I'm going to put him in. Oh. Okay, does he fit on here? Nope, he is too small. Such a nice stamp. So I'm just going to add this in right like this. And I like the fact that it's going to end up overlapping on that side. So again, I'm just using the Jet Black Crisp dye ink. This is a water-based ink, but it dries very, very quickly versus using a pigment ink that is not going to dry as quickly. And I'm just going to have him overlap and just put him right there. And I will take some time this week just to color this in. So it gives me some little crafting to do. Isn't that nice though, Evie? It's so nice. It goes with everything. So pretty. Okay, of course. Now, if you're in this situation where it just didn't stamp well, that's where also the beauty of the fine liner set comes in, especially with a set like this. So I can just draw those little lines in and I can make it look whatever the heck I want to now, which is kind of cool. So I'm just going to kind of connect these other pieces. Or if you're like, if it's really bad, then we can just die cut out. I can just cut one, stamp it on my stamp positioner, cut it, and then I will have it. So you can see here. So this goes, and it just gives you an opportunity to add in a little zentangling. There we are. Fixed it. There you are. Not a problem. Yeah, you need that one. No, you don't, Kathy. Look at your set. I bet you have something like it. So go ahead and look in there. Now, I also like this because it has all these like little extra doodles and little pieces that I'm going to grab these and just arrange them on my stamp block. So let me grab a little smaller one. And I'm going to arrange this on my stamp block. So here's a nice big doodle, a little tiny doodle. This doodle's going to come up this way. In fact, I'm going to turn him around. He's going to come this way, and then a little tiny doodle this way. And now I've just created my own image, and I'm going to ink this up. And I'm going to go ahead and put that down one direction. And then I'm going to ink it up again. And I'm going to put this down in the other direction. And I'm going to go this way with it. And that gives me something to color. This is hard to do because I did not make my book flat, and I should have done that, but that's okay. Again, pen to the rescue. And hey, this way it looks a little bit different. There we go. Pen to the rescue. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Tracy. I should try that. And that's true. Is Zentangling, and that's nice about this because that's that kind of meditative movement of things. So I like this. I'm just going to stamp this little thing. I don't want to put in. I want to put in. It's a special day. And just to add a little, just some words, a little bit of a quote, something that's kind of positive. I'm just going to add this in. And this is still off of that Persian motif set. And I'm just going to add, it's a special day. And this is going to, same thing is going to happen to me, I feel like, but that's okay. We'll fix it. Yep, that's all right. Okay. Pen to the rescue. Special day. Okay. So that's my one side. Yeah, and that's a good thing to know about yourself. All right, bye, Linda. Call me later. And that's a good thing to know about yourself, Sarah, is like, that it takes time. And that's why I like these kinds of things. We're not talking about goals. We're talking about intentions, that these are things that we're going to do, that we have an idea of how we want it to be. All right. So what I want to do next is I'm going to use my same P-Touch tape, but I'm going to use a different tape this time. And there's this really cute one that is over here. That is not roses. That is polka dots. And this one is polka dots, pink polka dots, and it has black on it. And this is really easy to do. You can just pull these tapes out. This was pink hearts with gold. And I'm just going to put this one in. And that way you get a whole new look, something completely different. All right, so, oh, I do want it to say habit tracker. Okay, and I'm going to print this. And that's it. And I noticed last time when I did this, I really needed to put the line down the middle first. So I'm going to do this one first here. So I'm just going to turn my page. And I'm just going to get this as straight, right about in the middle as I can get it. Again, I'm not too concerned. It's not, if it's crooked, like this is a little wonky, that's fine, not a problem. It's really more important that I'm just doing it versus that it's perfect as we go along. And again, if your edges kind of go up a little bit, just you can take a little glue and just put those down. All right, so now I'm going to grab my habit tracker. And I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut my page or use this. Show your stencil page again. Absolutely, I will, Tracy. I'll go right back over there. When I'm done with this, I'll switch over there. All right, so I'm just going to hit this right in the middle. And I like this better because I can see it. All right, and then I'm going to grab my scissors. And I'm just going to cut all this little excess off right here. Okay. Yeah, and that's what I liked as well, Sarah, is like, this is in my face. Like I am looking at this and I am seeing what the heck is going on. Here's my stencil page. So you see how nice and soft that stencil page. So this is my monthly intentions. And then I use that Geo frames, and these are the hearts from the mandala set. And I just wrote in what I wanted to do. And then this is our illusion hearts that I used, that I made into a sticker. And then I just wrote February 2023. And then this is that color block hearts that's in the background and nice and soft. So I like that jewel toned ink set for this, and a little bit of washi tape there from my stash. All right. Tracking nuns, bad pun. Ah. All right. So now I'm going to set up my graphs. So I want to track my water again. And so I'm going to put this up here that this is water. And I thought this had a little, this has like a little thing here. So I'm just going to stencil this in. I really, I thought when I bought this, I was like, what am I doing with this? But I really have to say, this is such a cool little stencil set. And I like things that you can make, use them in totally different ways. And this is definitely one of them. All right, so here is water. And here I am going to track steps and stretching. All right, so now I'm going to make my little graph. So all I need is just a big L. And a big L. And on the bottom for water and for the other one, I'm just putting the days of the week. Thought that happened. All right, so here's my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I'm just kind of ticking them. And then for water, what I felt, I know I'm going to hit the 20 ounces. So there's my 0. And here is my 80 ounces. And so half of that is about 40 ounces. And then half of this is my 20 ounces. And that should be 60 up in there. All right. And then over here, I'm going to do my steps and my stretching. Gets a little tricky on this edge. Here we go. Oops, again. All right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then my goal is 8,000. So I'm going to put that there. Here is 0. Half of that is 4,000. And so half of that is 2,000. And I could measure this out, and then half of this is 6,000. And that's how you make your graph. You just kind of estimate where this is and how that's going to work. And here are each of my days. All right. Now, I'm going to start up here. I'm going to keep this again where this is mood. So I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing and just have a little part up here that's mood. And then I wanted to put this up as being creative. And then I need 7 little guys. So I'm going to use this part of this stencil. And I'm just going to go right down. I'm actually going to start down here and then go up. Because I realized last time I kind of didn't put it out right. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need 3 more. So 5, 6, and 7. I think my pen is dying on me here. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. I'm going to start at the bottom and then just go up 4 and then up 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift this up. So now I got 3 blocks. 1, 2, and 3. And one thing that I like that I did last time that I will do again is I added over here, I just grabbed my color. So here's pink. So this is, I'm starting actually in red. So over here I did Monday. So this was 130 and this is 130. And I just made like a little tiny box come out and that's just going to start to give me that color. So now I'm going to fill in the color. Next one is orange. So 131. And I can go back in and I'm actually going to write in these with these pens. And this is the nice thing about the Flair pens is they come in a lot of colors. So I can continue to do that rainbow. All right, and then I need my green. I like this green better. So 2, 2. And then in order to get this to rainbow, so where I have the purple down here, so this is going to be 2, 5. I switched up my blues to be a darker blue and a lighter blue. All right. All right. Bye, Kathy. I hope you had fun. All right. So, and then I need a little bit of a darker blue and a little bit of like a teal brighter blue. So this is 2, 3. And this is 2, 4. Okay. And then up here, I'm just going to add that this was my mood. And this was crafting. Because that's going along with what my intentions are. Now I have an opportunity. I can add some stamps in here for a little bit of extra color. All right. So that is the setup for the week. I can add in, and in fact, I'm going to do that right now, just a couple of little lines over here, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm just going to grab my Flair pens and my ruler, and I'm just going to add some lines, and I want to hash them, so I'm going to have them overlap with each other. But I don't want to go through my image, so I'm going to stop where my image is and just break where those are. So that's a break and a break. And then I can come in with a different color and same thing again. In fact, I'm going to go a little bit smaller on this one. Just wherever I can kind of find color, I'm going to do that. Just to add a little bit of some different things, just a different look. Bring that down. Just a little bit of a different color. Yeah, mood and crafting. What is that post for again? Sarah, what do you mean? Part. Oh, part. Okay. What I did over here is I wanted to track if I have any like headache symptoms, how I'm feeling. Like some days I don't feel good, so I might put a sad face. Some days I feel better, I'll put a smiley face. Some days I don't really feel anything, so I put like a a face, 2 eyes, and a line. So to give you an idea. And then crafting is, did I actually craft and what did I do? Did I have a live? What was I doing? So that's how I used it, if that makes sense, Sarah. Yeah, and that's what you want to do. And that's what I mean. So see how you can have the graph to measure. So things that you want to know levels about, or how often you did, or how much, you can just put them here. And that helps a lot. For this, I was tracking my mood. So you see the little, like, I wasn't feeling so good on Monday. I had a headache. All right. I had a sad face. Didn't really care on Tuesday. Right. Got a little bit happier. So which makes sense. Thursday, Friday, feeling better. So I was happier here, and that's going to help me when I talk to my doctor about certain things. And then creative, I didn't do anything these days. I did a live, I had to finish a thank you card. I had to prep things. I taught a class and I did a live. So this is things so that, yeah, I know. I hate them. I really do. And then here, I kind of did this. I just didn't have space to make a third graph. So I added on stretching. And all I'm doing is just checking off if I had it or not. And I have to go to physical therapy now. So I'm just checking off if I did that or not. So this just helps me to keep up the routine. For the walking, I want to know amounts. And so that's where I have this little graph that tells me the amounts. So that's something that helps a little bit. And then I wanted to keep this where I am labeling it. So I'm using some color in order to color code this. So you can see for water, I'm going to add in that water. And then steps, I've been using green. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in green. And I can go in with my colored pencils and just color in these edges. Just color them in. And then for the walking, I've been using this darker kind of pink purple. or for, excuse me, for the stretching. So I'm just going to put this and just around that. So that way I have it color coded for how I'm going to do it. So that we are all set for this week. And I'm sorry I went over a little bit. Does work count as crafting? It does though, Evie, because you're still crafting. And sometimes for somebody like me, I actually need a deadline or else I don't get anything done. So kind of like I have to do the work in order to do the crafting. But like I'll take some time and I'll color these in. And so that's where the colored pencils come in. Is I'm going to start off like for Monday, I want that to be red. So I'm going to grab a nice little red and I'm going to just go ahead and color code that in. And that coloring, and this is therapeutic. I might not get it all done today. I might do it as I move along. But even just to add just a little bit of color, and I can do some shading and put in a couple of other colors, or even just kind of darken up these edges and then pull that color over just to make it a little bit darker on the ends and a little bit lighter in the middle. And I need to sharpen my pencils, but just gives it a little bit of color. So I can go ahead and do that. Oh, good. Charts, that's good. That's good. And it's really, yeah, you don't want it to feel like a job. The educators, what's nice is it's about you and what you want to do and how you want to use it. You do want to think about it. I kind of see it as giving back or starting a business. It's something that I'm thinking about it that way. So, but even just the classes are really great to take because they help to push you through. All right, so let's review what we did and where we're doing. So again, we're setting our intentions for this week. So we had a new month. So we added in, so we reviewed kind of how everything worked. Set up our monthly intentions for February, set up our February landing page, and we set up our week. And next week, if you tune in with me at 3 o'clock on Sunday, I want to go over tabs and we'll set up our week, our next week as well. So hopefully that this helps you. All right. I hope to see you next week. Please do me a favor and share out on your Facebook groups, on your social media, your journals. Let everybody know that we are having this weekly series. I'd love for other people to join. I'm hoping to build this community so that way we can help each other to set those intentions and keep them, because that's the biggest thing. I can set them, but it's really hard to keep them. All right, and I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope that you guys have a fabulous day. I'm just going to come on up and say thank you all. So thank you for being here with me today, and I really appreciate your time, and I hope to see you next week. And that is so awesome because Alicia, it's going to be helpful, I think, for, everybody's so busy and there's so many things, but just taking this little bit of time, this hour or hour and a half in this case, and setting up your week can really, really be very, very powerful. All right, you got it, Evie, and that I am a coach too. So, all right, guys, I hope that you have a fabulous day. And I will see you guys soon. So next week, 3 o'clock, meet me here. All right.